Good evening, everyone. This is Whiskey Alpha 3 Alpha Hotel Charlie. Welcome back to the channel. Whoa. Okay, so yeah, guys, we're having our weekly night again tonight. I'm radio ready, and yeah, I'm just gonna wait for the net control to get it started. So yeah, guys, I'm just gonna pause real quick, and then when it starts, I will resume. Alright, guys, here we go.
Radio net meets every Monday at 8 p.m. on the 146.3 megahertz WHUPD repeater of the Gateway FM Association. Membership in the Two Rivers ARC is not required to check into this net, so our radio amateurs are welcome. Like information about the Two Rivers Amateur Radio Company, write to us at P.O. Box 225, Green Oak, PA, zip code 15047. P.O. Box 225, Green Oak, PA, zip code 15047. We're also on the internet's World Wide Web at www.trarc.net. www.trarc.net. Radio Club meetings are held on the third Tuesday of every month except July and December, starting at 7 p.m. The recent meetings are being held at the Da Vinci Pizzeria, 1515 Washington Boulevard in Portview, Pennsylvania, which is the suburbs of McKeesport. For open this net for check-ins, there's emergency or priority traffic at this time.
No emergency or priority check-ins. Okay. That's quite common. No emergency check-ins.
Alright, anyone has a listing of silent keys? I do have one to report. Does anybody have a listing of silent keys tonight? W306. I received information last week on the Skyview Radio Society's email list that Henry Hank Panko, his name, his nickname, call sign was 3 X-ray duty, passed away last week.
We got a new silent key.
Henry Panko, W3X, is W306.
So yeah, a silent key is basically when a amateur radio operator dies. So it's called a silent key. And right now we're having a moment of silence for the person. Yeah, that's what she said.
Frequency mode. And a warming trend can be expected.
There.
I thank you all for standing by. Okay. Let's see. I'm going to take some check-ins here in a moment. When you check into the radio net, please give your call sign. Spell it out phonetically. It means spell it out. And let me know if you have any announcements or comments to the net. At this time, I'm looking for the officers of the Two Rivers ARC who wish to check into the Two Rivers net.
W306. W306, please recognize Kilo Bravo 3, Sugar Tango, Bob and Elizabeth Township. Evening Chuck, evening to the net, no traffic.
W306, please copy Kilo Bravo 3, Uniform Whiskey Charlie, Steve in Boston. Good evening, Chuck. Everyone else on this, no other comments.
W306, please recognize November 3, Juliet, Hotel, Bravo, Jim in McKeesport. Good evening, everyone on the net, no traffic. Okay, I got Kilo Bravo 3 Sugar Tango, Kilo Bravo 3 Uniform Whiskey Charlie, and November 3 Juliet Hotel Bravo. Anybody else on the board of directors wishing to check in? None heard? Okay. Alright, now I'm looking for stations that are operating mobile, portable, or outside of Allegheny County for the Two Rivers net.
W306.
So that would be me. Cause
Here's Kilo Bravo 3 Victor
because I operate a portable station, which is my both things. That would be portable, so that would be me.
W30C.
Wait till it's my turn.
This is Kilo Alpha 3, Kilo Sierra Papa. Jim in Carnegie Portable. W30C. Whiskey Alpha 3, Bravo Oscar Juliet. 10 Squirrel Hill, Portable. Good evening to you, Chuck. Good evening to Net. No traffic.
Yep.
W30C,
Interference.
W83, PBD, Andy, and West Mifflin, no comments.
W30C. Well, someone bled in.
This is Kilo Alpha 3, Kilo Echo Victor. Denny and Plum, good evening, Chuck. W30C. Recognize November 3, Tango Alpha Uniform, and 3, TAU Norm, and 10 Westmoreland County. Good evening, Chuck. No comments. Good evening, everybody on the net.
W30C. W30C, this is Whiskey Alpha 3, Alpha Hotel Charlie. Antonio from Pittsburgh. Good evening to you, Chuck, and everyone on the net. No further comments at this time.
W30C. This is Whiskey Uniform 3 Uniform, Kirk and Elizabeth, no traffic. W30C. Please recognize Alpha 3 Austin Zulu. Good evening to you, Chuck. Good evening to the net. No further comments. W30C. W30C, please copy Kilo Charlie 3 Papa X-ray uniform for Bryan and Elizabeth Township. No traffic. W30C. Copy Whiskey 3 Delta Tango Papa. Dalvin Clarendon, no traffic. W30C. Here is Kilo 3 Hotel, India Romeo, in Elizabeth Township. Good evening, Chuck. No comment. W30C. Please copy Kilo Bravo 3, Kilo Bravo Hotel, Craig and Castle 7. Evening, Chuck. Good evening to that. I have no comments.
Okay, thank you. Let me take a quick standby here. Thank you. I got Kilo Bravo 3 Victor Sierra Papa, Kilo Alpha 3 Kilo Sugar Papa Portable, Whiskey America 3 Bravo Oscar Japan Portable, Whiskey America 3 Papa Bravo Delta Portable, Kilo Alpha 3 Kilo Echo Victor, November 3 Tango Alpha Uniform, Whiskey America 3 Alpha Hotel Charlie.
Yes, they got me.
Whiskey
Yes.
Uniform 3 Uniform, Alpha Alpha 3 Oscar Zulu. Kilo Charlie 3
They
Papa
got my
X-ray
check-in.
Uniform, Whiskey 3 Delta Tango Papa, Kilo 3 Hotel India Radio, and Kilo Bravo 3 Kilo Bravo Hotel. Anybody else, please?
W30C.
Yep.
I never understood Morse code.
Yeah.
I think my repeat is 147.
Good evening. 8:09 p.m.
W30C. November 3 Papa Uniform, Chuck in the Southwest. Hello, Chuck and everyone on the net.
W30C. W30C, please recognize Kilo Charlie 3, November Foxtrot, Mike at Scott Township. Good evening, Chuck and everyone on the net. No comments, no traffic.
It's interference. It's not interference.
W30C. W30C, please recognize Kilo Bravo 3, Lima Alpha Sierra, Scott Township. Mike, no traffic, no comments.
Bravo 3 Lima Alpha Sugar. Anybody else? We'll stop at that point. Thank you all. Thanks for taking the time to check in this evening. I do have a little bit of an announcement tonight, and of course, Newsline is up on the computer over here, and I'll hook up. Hopefully, everything will work with the interface. Hi. See about some upcoming Two Rivers activities. The next club activity will be this Saturday, October the 10th. The Radio Club will be holding its 10th and next breakfast over at Diet Cornerstone Diner, 620 Long Run Road in the Keysport, Pennsylvania. It's actually White Oak right there. It's the entrance to the Olympic Shopping Center. If you're familiar with that, you get a chance to come out here and meet the gang out there. Radio Club meeting's not scheduled till the 20th of October up at the Da Vinci Pizzeria up there at 1515 Washington Boulevard in Portview, PA. Okay, other things coming up. The Pennsylvania QSO party is coming up this weekend. It's on Saturday and Sunday. Starts at, I think it's Saturday at noontime and runs to 1 a.m. And it's 9 a.m. till 6 p.m., I believe it is local time. Purposes for the rest of all the world works Pennsylvania radio amateurs, or Pennsylvania radio amateurs work the world. And of course, there's a nice award if you can work all 67 counties. That's available to pretty much anyone. Really tough to do, but it can be done. I know the committee up there that's heading it, I've been seeing some emails coming out of there lately, and they're getting, looks like they have just about all the counties covered as far as people who announced they're going to operate. So that should be a lot of fun. That's this coming Saturday and Sunday until 1 o'clock on Saturday, 1 o'clock a.m. I should say, and 9 o'clock on Sunday till I think it's 6 p.m. Okay, also coming up locally, tomorrow night the Skyview Radio Society is holding a Zoom session. It's going to be called All About Antennas and Speed Lines. That starts at 8 o'clock p.m. And the presenter will be K3 Integral Oscar Mexico. I don't have any information yet on how to connect to it. It is a Zoom session, an internet session. October the 14th, this one also came out of the North Hills ARC group. They're going to, on October 14th, they're also going to have a Zoom session about antennas by WA3 Papa Bravo Lima, who is the RF engineer at KDKA Radio. I don't have any more information on that, but these are some of the local things to schedule. Okay, on the national scene, the FCC has announced that they've deleted the 3.4 gigahertz satellite service allocation that was decided at the September 30th meeting of the FCC. More information. There's information on that on the Newsline tonight. Also, I just saw this recently, the Air World National Convention and also the Orlando Hamcation, as it's called, has been postponed to February 2022. So none of that's going to be in 2021. Interesting. I have some time and things to come. Okay. I think that's kind of all I have as far as announcements are concerned. Does anybody have any comments they'd wish like to make? Please call on. Okay, alrighty. Let me put the switch of you on here to see what Newsline's got tonight. W3OC.
The Campfest, a new location this year at the Maps Air Museum. It's going to be off of Manson Road.
I don't know what that is. Let's see if I can override it.
But it's real close off of Amateur Radio Newsline report number 2240 with the release date of Friday, October 2nd, 2020 to follow in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The following
QST.
The FCC weighs in amateur access to the 3.4 gigahertz band. A satellite marks 27 years in orbit, and a celebration for a ham of the century. All this and more as Amateur Radio Newsline Report number 2240 comes your way right now.
From around the world, this is Newsline, Amateur Radio's first independent, on-the-air news and bulletin service. Now, reporting from Wadsworth, Ohio, Stephen Kinford, NAWB.
As Newsline went to production, hams were waiting to hear the outcome of an FCC meeting on whether to eliminate amateur radio access on the 3.4 gigahertz band. The ARRL has urged the FCC once again to preserve ham's secondary status on the 3.4 gigahertz band rather than proceed with its proposal to remove amateur activity. In a recent phone call with FCC staffers, the ARRL reiterated the argument it had made earlier this year in formal comments filed with the Commission. The ARRL has maintained that preserving secondary use by radio amateurs will not have a negative impact on any primary licensees in the future, including those providing 5G services. The FCC was to meet on Wednesday, September 30th on the matter. There was no indication when that decision was to be made public. Please visit Newsline's Twitter feed and Facebook page for updates. Good news for hams in Singapore. It's now easier to prepare for the full licensing exam thanks to a good friend in the UK. Jason Daniel, VK2LAW, tells us more.
Hams in Singapore have received a big assist from an amateur in the UK who has created a free online training course to prepare them for their 800-watt amateur license, a level equivalent to the UK full license. Peter Pennington, Golf 4 Echo, Golf Quebec, has established a page on the website of the Singapore Amateur Radio Transmitting Society offering educational PDF files and sample questions to prepare candidates for the test. Before candidates sit for the test by the Infocom Media Development Authority, they can review the 14 sections of the website, become familiar with the operating procedures outlined, and then challenge themselves with the sample questions. The page contains links to the course, and the IMDA Amateur Handbook are on the Singapore Group's website at sarts.org.sg. A note on the website reports that the radio amateur examination has resumed its normal schedule, allowing 2 candidates per session to safely observe COVID-19 precautions. For Amateur Radio Newsline, I'm Jason Daniels, VK2LAW.
What if a club scheduled a lecture series and no one showed up? Actually, that would be just fine. That's how it was designed by one club in South Dublin. Jeremy Booth, G4NJH, explains.
The South Dublin Radio Club, EI2SDR, is hosting a Tuesday night lecture series on amateur radio, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Organisers hope the series will be so popular that no one shows up, except on Zoom. The lectures kicked off on the 29th of September with a discussion about summits on the air by Albert, EI6KO, one of Ireland's most prominent SOTA operators. The 20-minute presentations are followed by a 10-minute question and answer session. Anyone interested in attending or contributing a topic for a future presentation is welcome to contact the club or follow updates to their accounts on Twitter and Facebook. The club's webpage can be found at South Dublin Radio Club, one word, .weebly, that's www.com. For Amateur Radio Newsline, I'm Jeremy Booth, G4NJH.
When it comes to planning for emergency coverage, hospitals and hams are a natural team. Kristen Kudnick, K0STH, tells us about one such effort in Washington State.
With the help of a local hospital, hams in Callum County, Washington, are hoping to provide the county with a security blanket of RF coverage. Their effort has been a 2-year project between the Callum County Amateur Radio Club and Forks Community Hospital. According to club member Joe Wright, KG7JWW, who is also an area emergency coordinator for Aries in Forks, the goal is to establish, quote, operational areas, unquote, throughout the county, including the vast prairie, and serve those areas with more radios and repeaters. While standard communication will continue to rely on the VHF repeater and vertical antenna, the goal is to extend the range, linking to UHF repeaters beyond.
Joe credited the hospital for having established an on-site amateur radio station after 9/11 for Callum County Aries. He said the hospital has also assisted in other ways, including with installation of a repeater and equipment for an emergency radio site on Gunderson Mountain, just outside of town. He told Newsline, quote, "The new repeater location has significantly increased our coverage," unquote, and other expansions are in the planning stages. One of them is for a location that will cover the county's farthest northwest areas and cross over to Vancouver Island, British Columbia. For Amateur Radio Newsline, I'm Christian Kudnick, K0STH. Although more voters than ever in the U.S. are expected to use absentee ballots in November's presidential election, one amateur radio operator will be casting her ballot from space. Don Wilbanks, AE5DW, has those details.
Astronaut Kate Rubins, KG5FYJ, has a few important things on her agenda following her mid-October launch from Russia to the International Space Station. Once there, she'll begin her research using the Cold Atom Lab aboard the ISS. She will also work on a cardiovascular experiment. And she plans to cast an absentee ballot and vote in the United States presidential election. According to Space.com, her vote will take the form of a secure electronic ballot which gets transmitted to Mission Control and sent on from there to the county clerk back home in Texas. Of course, high-flying absentee ballots are nothing new for her. According to the Associated Press, she and fellow astronaut Shane Kimbrough, KE5HOD, voted for president the same way in 2016, hoping their votes would go the distance. For Amateur Radio Newsline, I'm Don Wilbanks, AE5DW.
Time for you to identify your station. We are the Amateur Radio Newsline, heard on posted stations around the world, including the N9EOC repeater of the Central Indiana Amateur Radio Association in Noblesville, Indiana, on Sundays at 8 p.m. local time.
W306.
Imagine 27 years on the job. The team behind a satellite called AMRAD Oscar 27 has no trouble imagining it at all. The satellite just marked its birthday in space, as Neil Rapp, WB9VPG, tells us.
Happy 27th birthday to the satellite that was launched from French Guiana in September of 1993 and is still on the job. Hams around the world have made contacts with AMRAD Oscar 27, which has also been used for a successful D-Star mode satellite USO. Even after a temporary outage in 2012, the team behind the project couldn't be prouder of the satellite's longevity and its reputation for being relatively easy to work. AO-27 was built by the Amateur Radio Research and Development Corporation, AMRAD, in McLean, Virginia. For Amateur Radio Newsline, I'm Neil Rapp, WB9VPG.
Meanwhile, if you are awaiting the scheduled launch of the latest two Chinese amateur radio satellites, it looks like you'll be waiting until spring of next year. CAMSAT, the Chinese amateur satellite group, has announced that the CAS-7A has been postponed until May, and the CAS-5A won't launch until June. The delay is the latest in a series for CAS-7A. This month you'll get an opportunity to operate by phone, but it's not what you think. Jack Parker, W8ISH, explains.
It pays to be an amateur radio operator who has also worked for one of the telephone-related businesses in the United States. These hands get to operate phone while celebrating phones. On Monday, the 19th of October, the Telephone Pioneer QSO party will be getting on the air for 8 hours beginning at 1800 UTC for their 56th annual event. You don't need to be affiliated with any of the phone companies to score contact. Operators will be using all modes, including the digital modes. In fact, for the first hour, the only contacts happening will be on FT8, with that hour reserved exclusively for this digital mode. For more details, visit the website tpqso.com. Whether you once worked for the phone company or still do, and even if you never have, listen for someone calling QRZ, and with any luck, you won't hear a pileup or get a busy signal. For Amateur Radio Newsline, I'm Jack Parker, W8ISH.
In La Crosse, Wisconsin, one ham club was inviting everyone to get on the bus by rolling out their new MCOM unit. Here is Dave Parks, WB8ODS, with that report.
When does an open house party become an mobile communications unit for a ham radio group, and the vehicle happens to be a bus. The Mississippi Valley Amateur Radio Association, W9MVA in La Crosse, Wisconsin, welcomed visitors to its new shack on wheels, which serves as an emergency communications unit. It also functions as a kind of school bus because it demonstrates radio technology to youngsters. Although the mobile unit was active in June when some of the hams participated in Field Day, it received hams and other visitors formally during its more low-key public rollout at the open house held by the club on Saturday, September 26th. The custom-made bus has UHF, VHF, and HF beam antennas as well as dipoles and can also operate in conjunction with two portable antenna towers. For Amateur Radio Newsline, I'm Dave Parks, WB8ODF.
In a world of DX, Adrian F4IHM is using the call sign 5U4IHM from Nigeria, where he is on a mission assignment. He will be mainly on 40 and 20 meters using CW and FT8. Send QSL to his home call direct or via the Rep Bureau. From Kuwait, be listening for Abdallah 9K2GS, who will use the call sign 9K2K during the CQ-WWDX SSB contest on October 24th and 25th. Send QSL to EC6DX or by LOTW. Listen for the special event call sign EN100LT being used by hams in Ukraine to celebrate the 100th anniversary of the Kharkiv Theater for Children and Youth. The special event began in September and will continue until March 31st of 2021. Send QSL to UT5LU. There is an award available. For details, see QRZ.com. For our final story, we roll out some good wishes. Really roll them out on 4 wheels. For a ham who just turned 103, Ralph Squillaci tells us how his fellow amateurs in North Carolina took that celebration literally.
If Oscar Norris, W4OXX, is feeling lately like he's the ham of the century, there's a good reason. Licensed since 1949, Oscar was treated to a different kind of birthday party when he turned 103 on September 25th in the middle of a pandemic. According to Tony Jones, N4ATJ, president of the Gaston Radio Club of Gastonia, North Carolina, family members, church members, and hams from around the state piled into 40 cars and formed a procession past the Cortland Terrace Assisted Living Center where Oscar lives. ARRL Section Manager Marv Hoffman, WA4NC, presented Oscar with a plaque marking the occasion. Meanwhile, the birthday boy got busy doing what hams do best, making QSOs worldwide via one of his HTs using Echolink, which had been set up on the Charlotte Amateur Radio Club's W4CQ repeater by Tim Richards, KO4AXL. The club was honoring him with a 10-day-long activation of Special Event Station N10, which stands for Ham of the Century. And hams from North Carolina, South Carolina, and Florida were calling QRZ. One of those hams was Oscar himself. No surprise there. And in true birthday fashion, he was the one station worth bonus points. To Tony, however, and so many others, Oscar is worth bonus points every day. As Tony, the party's organizer, told Newsline, quote, "He is one of my favorite people in the ham radio world and outside the ham radio world," end quote. For Amateur Radio Newsline, I'm Ralph Squillaci, KK6ITV.
With thanks to Amateur News Weekly, AMSAT, the ARRL, the Associated Press, CQ Magazine, David Behar, K7DB, the FCC, the Forks Forum, Irish Radio Transmitter Society, Ohio Penn DX, QRZ.com, shortwaveradio.de, Singapore Amateur Radio Transmitting Society, South Dublin Radio Club, Southgate Amateur Radio News, Space.com, Ted Randall's QSO Radio Show, Telephone Pioneers, Tony Jones, N4ATJ, WKBT, WTWW Shortwave, and you, our listeners. That's all from the Amateur Radio Newsline. Please send emails to our address at newsline@arnewsline.org. More information is available at Amateur Radio Newsline's only official website at arnewsline.org. For now, with Tyranny Murray, KD2GUT at the news desk in New York, and our news team worldwide, I'm Stephen Kinford, N8WB in Wadsworth, Ohio, saying 73, and as always, we thank you for listening. Amateur Radio Newsline is copyright 2020, all rights reserved.
Good evening, 8:30 p.m.
Okay, it's W3OC, net control for the Tours ARC. That concludes this week's Newsline transmission.
Well, it's about to end, yeah.
Okay, I don't have any more traffic or any announcements, so at this time we'll take some more check-ins at W3OC.
W3OC. This is Kilo Bravo 3, Lima November Charlie. Lenny here in the Mobile. Good evening, everybody. No traffic.
W3OC, WA3TFS, Jimmy Brentwood, no traffic.
This is W3 Sierra Yankee Radio. Bob in White Oak. Good evening, Chuck. Good evening to all on the net. No traffic.
Okay, got Kilo Bravo 3, Lima November Charlie Mobile, Whiskey American 3 Tango Pump Sugar, and Whiskey 3 Sierra Yankee Radio. Anybody else?
W3OC. Kilo Bravo 3, Yankee India November, Rich McKeesport. Hello to everybody on the net. No further comments.
Okay, got Kilo Bravo 3, Yankee Indian November. Anybody else? Okay, that's kind of what I got to. Thank you all. Just a quick, excuse me, a quick reminder to Rivers members and anybody else, don't forget our club breakfast is coming up on Saturday at 9 a.m. at Dice Cornerstone Diner Restaurant over there in McKeesport. Hopefully many of you can make it out for that. And also the Two Rivers ARC Super Wrap was still an ongoing project. And I have not heard that it's closed yet. It's getting close as far as from what I understand, but don't have any more information other than that. Tickets are still available. If you wish that, you can contact Delta, W3 Delta Tango Papa by email to PetersonDT at, I think he's at Comcast.net, I believe, or 412-398-1092. Okay, with that, let's see.
On the Auto House, Ripley, New York, somewhat.
Well, epical.
Want to hear it?
No,
Yeah, I should 24 check-ins. I'd like to thank everybody who checked in with this evening. Hopefully catch many of you both next week, and if you're voting by mail, get your vote in early if you can. I know I did mine last week, so with that, we're going to turn the repeater back to Jenner. Thank you. This is W3OC and the W3ON closing the 2 Rivers. Good night.
Alright guys, well, that's going to be it for tonight. If you enjoyed, be sure to like, subscribe, comment, and turn on the post notification bell. That's it for this week. This is 73rd from Whiskey Alpha 3 Alpha Charlie. Peace.